Chiefs Kingdom, breathe it in, because the vibe at Arrowhead right now is electric. After crushing the Raiders for the second straight time, this team isn't just winning games, it's sending messages. Travis Kelce stepped to the mic and laid it out plain, "We're really grooving now." And you could feel it in every snap, every route, every defensive stand. Tonight we're breaking down what that groove actually means. Is this a mid-season surge or the start of something bigger? How did the offense unlock layers we haven't seen since their best stretches? And why does the defense keep setting the tone? Strap in, hit that subscribe button, and let's talk Chiefs football the way only this community does. Because if you watched what we watched, you saw a locker room that believes. You saw Patrick Mahomes smiling at the sideline and Andy Reid dialing up plays like he's got the cheat codes. You saw Kelce talking like a captain who knows the ship is pointed true north. Let's get into it. Here's the promise for tonight's show. We'll unpack the beats from pre-snap motion to post-game swagger, translate coach speak into fan speak, and lay out what's sustainable versus what was opponent-specific. This wasn't just another win over a division rival, it was a tone setter. The Chiefs didn't flinch, didn't stagger, and didn't give the Raiders a lane back into the game once the throttle opened up. The line of scrimmage belonged to Kansas City, and the clock ticked to the Chiefs' rhythm. That's the kind of control that travels into December and January. You could see how the offensive script layered early concepts into later shots. Quick hitters to get Mahomes in rhythm, motion to force mismatches, and those classic read wrinkles that make linebackers hesitate half a beat. By the second quarter, the Raiders were guessing, and the Chiefs were dictating. That is the identity of a contender. Defensively, the blueprint stayed ruthless. Fast edges, disciplined contain, and a secondary that squeezes throwing windows until quarterbacks start checking down by habit. When you pair that with complementary offense, the game feels shorter for opponents and longer for the Chiefs' playmakers. That is a winning formula against anyone in the AFC. Kelce's post-game tone was important. He wasn't just celebrating, he was calibrating. "When we're grooving," he implied, "the little details compound." And that's exactly how it looked on the field. Remember, divisional games are emotional and weird by nature. When you neutralize that chaos and play your script, it says something about culture. This locker room embraces the grind weeks just as much as the big stage weeks, and that continuity is why late-season football feels familiar to them. Let's talk personnel impact, because the ripple effects are real. When Kelce is healthy and moving like that, the middle of the field becomes a high-traffic zone for our offense. Safeties creep down, linebackers widen, and suddenly the sideline comebacks look clean for the outside receivers. It's the gravitational pull of an all-time tight end. Mahomes took what the defense gave him early and then started taking what he wanted late. That cadence matters, because it keeps the offense on schedule and the pass rush honest. You could see the pocket awareness, the climbs, the resets, the calm flicks to the flat. And then, just when Vegas settled, the strike over the top reminded everyone who's in charge. The run game deserves credit for changing the math. Even modest gains on first down opened the playbook. When the backs hit the crease with urgency, the linebackers had to respect it, and that softened the underneath zones the Chiefs love to attack. Balance doesn't have to mean 50-50, it just has to make your tells disappear. On defense, the unit continues to play fast and connected. Pass rush lanes stayed disciplined, which meant the quarterback couldn't just drift and sling. The interior pushed the pocket while the edges squeezed, and that's why so many throws came out rushed. Add in tight coverage on third downs, and the Raiders felt like they were playing uphill all night. Special teams quietly tilted the field too. Hidden yardage adds up when your offense already has rhythm. Shorter fields mean more stress on the opponent's call sheet, and Reid strikes when he smells strain. That is how a good team breaks games open. There's a leadership component you can't chart, and Kelce embodies it. When your best players also do the dirty work, chipping, clearing, blocking backside, the room follows. You saw that buy-in from the young guys, who ran their routes at full speed even when they were the decoy. That's how explosive plays materialize for someone else. Let's spotlight the tackles, because edge control changed the geometry of the pocket. Mahomes could hitch and climb without a rusher arriving square to his chest. That small pocket integrity lets him keep two-way go options alive downfield, which is where the magic lives. It's subtle, but it's winning. Defensively, tackling in space saved hidden first downs. Rally and wrap. Limit yards after contact. Make the opponent run one more play and trust they'll blink before you do. Here's the chessboard. Early motion is doing two things: revealing man versus zone and creating leverage for Kelce and the slot. When you see a defender travel with motion, Mahomes knows which side to punish. When they bump and pass it off, he checks to the constraint and steals easy yards. The RPO window dressing is back in a smart way. It's not about forcing the run, it's about forcing hesitation. A linebacker frozen for a half second is a window for Kelce or a quick game slant. And when defenses compress those windows, the screen game becomes a hammer. I loved the tempo changes. Not hurry up for its own sake, but strategic pace to trap the defense in personnel they don't want on the field. You saw it on those middle drives where the Chiefs stacked first downs and then hit the gas. That's veteran quarterbacking and veteran coaching. Defensively, the call sheet was about dictation. Simulated pressures without sacrificing coverage integrity. Rotate late, spin safeties, and make the quarterback reread post-snap. When eyes are busy, feet get slow, and that's where the Chiefs are winning reps. Personnel groupings told a story. Two tight end looks forced base defenses onto the field, then Kansas City spread them out and hunted matchups. When defenses answered with nickel, the Chiefs shifted to condensed formations and pounded the perimeter. It's basketball on grass, and the Chiefs have the better ball handlers. Watch the backfield alignments. Offset looks set up quick swing action and flat defenders had to widen, which opened slants and glance routes. Then, when defenders widened by rule, the Chiefs hit inside with traps and duo concepts. It's cause and effect layered across quarters. Let's talk about the vibe around the league. Media chatter has been wondering when the Chiefs would look, well, like the Chiefs. Two decisive wins over an AFC rival has a way of answering all that noise. And the players know it. Kelce's "we're really grooving now" line resonates because it matches the eye test. You can't fake timing. You can't fake chemistry. And you definitely can't fake how a sideline reacts when the game starts tilting in your favor. Fans felt that energy from tailgate to final whistle. You could sense confidence returning to the tribe. It wasn't swagger for the cameras. It was collective belief. That matters in the long season. National shows will argue about style points. Here we care about progress points. Did the offense stack answers? Did the defense keep its identity? Did the team protect the football and the quarterback? Those answers travel. Big picture, this is about stacking wins in the conference and owning your backyard. Beating the Raiders never gets old, but beating them with clarity sets the pecking order in the AFC West. It forces everyone else to chase your standard, and that's exactly where Kansas City thrives. The playoff math starts with seeding and ends with matchups. If the offense continues to sharpen and the defense maintains this level, the Chiefs are built to win multiple styles of games. Ugly in the trenches, explosive in space, clinical in the red zone. That's a January-ready profile. Division dominance simplifies the road. You lock in tiebreakers, you control the conversation, and you get to focus on self-scouting instead of scoreboard watching. That is the luxury the best teams buy for themselves every autumn. So what does grooving look like next week and beyond? It looks like stacking clean first quarters and closing halves with points. It looks like keeping Mahomes upright, keeping Kelce fed, and letting the defense set field position. And it looks like playing your brand regardless of venue. Coaches will harp on details, alignment, assignments, and situational sharpness. Players will talk about trust and communication. The locker room will stay humble because they know the film never lies. But the tone is set, and the standard is rising. If you're the rest of the AFC, you're rechecking your game plans. If you're the Chiefs, you're smiling, getting back to work, and keeping the main thing the main thing. Because when this team locks in, there aren't many answers. And right now, they are very much locked in. If you're looking for the next step, it's stacking detail games. Low penalties, clean substitutions, crisp motion timings, and winning 2-minute on both sides of the ball. That's the blueprint that takes a hot October and turns it into a long February. Appreciate you rocking with us here on Kansas City Chiefs Today. If you felt that groove tonight, let us know what stood out most: offensive rhythm, defensive swagger, or the Kelce factor. We go live after every big moment, we read every smart comment, and we bring that energy back into each show. Hit subscribe if you love this team the way we do, and share this with a friend who needs to join Chiefs Kingdom already. This is your daily home for breaking news, rumors, and unapologetic fan perspective. Drop your takes in the comments and join the road to 5,000 subs here on Kansas City Chiefs Today.